Good evening, everyone. Dr. Liz, how are you?
Shavua Tov, Rav, how are you?
Shavua Tov Umvorach, how are you?
Baruch Hashem. Wow. So, Rav, so today's the 44th day. Can you believe it? The 44th day of what's going on with the war. And I'll just mention some breaking news. There was a ship in the Red Sea, and the Houthis they've actually captured the ship. So they say that a lot of they have the information and the intelligence from the Iranians, but it's major because that's any ship. They thought it was an Israeli ship, but there were no Israeli on board, Baruch Hashem. But this could be the start of something very, very serious, and it's got the fingerprints of Iran. And something quite interesting, for the very first time that I'm aware, Satmar has actually, they have denounced Neturei Carter. And that's a major big step. They said that they are Chilul Hashem, they do not represent them, and they are mamish a major Chilul Hashem. And on Friday night, I was in the Sephardi shul here in Beit Vegan, and the Rav of the Sephardi shul that I go to on a Friday night, Erev Shabbos, said that they have a place in Gehenna. It was amazing to hear this. So they are really should be ostracized from Yiddishkeit. That's unbelievable.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
on a more positive side, there was a march that started from Tel Aviv to Yerushalayim, unfortunately in Moshe and Shabbos as well. But when they got here last night on Motzei Shabbos, there were thousands of people that joined the march. And the only good thing really that I see is that the world media picked it up and they've been broadcasting about the hostages, because all over America, all over England, all over the world, people are pulling down, and it's hard to understand such evilness to pull down a poster of a young baby, a young child, a Holocaust survivor, but they don't want to show Jews as victims. And today I saw the most amazing video. You can see it on the Times of Israel. It's Jason Alexander. He was in Steinfeld. Steinfeld's also come out very strongly in pro-Israel. Anyway, he has a video and he shows a picture when he was 9 years old. And then he shares a picture of one of the hostages of another 9-year-old boy called Ohad, and he starts telling his story. And he says, bring him home. It's just very, very emotional, and it's actually quite unbelievable. And Rav, I just want to end off with something. I don't know if our listeners are aware of he really was an amazing hero, Paul Kessler. I don't know if any of you have heard of the name Paul Kessler, but on the 5th of November, he held an Israeli flag and he went to a pro-Palestinian demonstration. And a 50-year-old professor, can you believe it, of computer science, Professor Loay Alanji, he hails from Kuwait. He actually came in there, he saw him there, he took his megaphone and he pushed him. And he actually pushed him to the floor and he bumped his head and he actually died. It's amazing. A Yiddisher who came peacefully to protest against what was going on was killed in a way. There's manslaughter by this professor, pro-Palestinian professor. So Paul Kessler's name should be for everlasting memory, Zichron Bracha, may his memory be for a blessing, and we should never forget his name. It's amazing that you know, when they had when a black unfortunately dies in America, the world goes mad. America goes mad. There's riots. There's everybody. Black lives matter. But where are the Jewish lives? Why doesn't the Jewish life matter as well? So if the world doesn't recognize Jewish lives matter, we should. And Paul Kessler's name should be remembered by every Jew throughout the world and by everyone. He was just standing there peacefully and he was killed just because he stood up for Israel. So we should all stand up for Israel and we should defend ourselves. And Bezrat Hashem, the hostages should be free. There is talk that there might be some type of agreement, partial agreement, but we really want them back. Bezrat Hashem.
Bezrat Hashem. Shkoch. Dr. Liz, thank you for the update. So we're going to dedicate the shiur in the soul of Paul. Bezrat Hashem. Liz, Dr. Liz, do you know his Hebrew name?
Rav, I'll look for it. I just know the English name, Paul Kessler. But I should try, you know, I'll go on the internet and I'll try. It's good that we should know his Hebrew name as well.
Paul Kessler. Yeah, Paul Kishner. We're going to dedicate the show.
Because, it's so sad.
Yeah.
He should never be forgotten, Rav. He should never be forgotten. Somebody who stood up for Am Yisrael and was killed for standing up for Am Yisrael. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. All the soldiers, everyone shouldn't be forget. All of those that have been killed. Please God that Paul Kishner and all the others that have been murdered, have been slaughtered, been burned, that they don't need us to give them the schut. They should give, we should merit from their schut. They're in a higher level than us. But we're dedicating the show, and we're also dedicating the show in the soul of Esther Kadem Bat Ketia, Mordechai Ben Rahma, Rav Avraham Chaim Ben Eliezer Yaakov, Tamar Bat Zeava, Yaakov Salomon Ben Farha, Dvora Ruth Bat Beila, Malka Regina Bat Joya, Keti Gurgia Bat Farha, Shosha Blima Bat Mordechai Bechalel. Please God, Nishmatam Tiye Tzura B'tzura Haim. I also would like to dedicate the show in health of all those soldiers that got injured. Please God, Refuah Shlema to them, to all the Jewish people, to all the members, to all the Israelis that got injured, and all the Jewish people all over the world. Amongst them, Menashe Ben Farha, Liora Bat Miriam, הרב משה בן ביבטיה, הרב משה בן זבורה, הרב שלמה יהודה בן דליה, הרב אברהם בן מרימה, דבורה בת אסתר, שינה קהילה בת חנה, מרדכי דוד בן לאה, חיים נחום בן פסע רזה הכהן, אהובה קדן, בת טלי אסתר, ברוך בן שרה חיינה, צבי בן חווה, ניצן בן ורד, יהודה הלל בן שולמית, חיה ציפורה בת רחל, איילה עדן בת רבקה, טובה ליבה בת רחל, שרה בת פנינה, יהושע חיים בן חיה לאה, ולאה בת רחל, וכל שאר חולי עמו פצועי בית ישראל. Please God that הקדוש ברוך הוא will send רפואה שלמה to all of them. רבותיי, the show of tonight that we're going to speak is Tefilin, the virtue of Tefilin, the value of Tefilin. Why it's so important about Tefilin. But first, I would like to start with where's the source of putting Tefilin. So there is two different sources in the Torah, in two different books. It's actually in Sefer Dvarim, it's two different parashiyot. The one is in Sefer Shmot, in chapter 13, verse 9. There the Torah tells us regarding the mitzvah Tefillin, and the pasuk say like this: "Ve'haya lecha leot al yadecha ulizikaron ben einecha." Again, it's mentioned in Sefer Dvarim, in Parashat Vayet Hanan, in Parashat Ekev, that those are the three sources, okay, that we are obligated to put tefillin. Okay, that's what Hazal tell us, that we are obligated to put tefillin. And the question becomes, why is so important to put tefillin? But before, I would like to start from the beginning to go stage by stage. How many kind of tefillin we have? So I'm sure that most of you know about tefillin of Rashi that we all put. Then you see sometimes the Chabad and some of the Sfaradim put tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam. That's very common. But there is more than that. There is 4 kinds of tefillin, and I'm going to go each one by himself. So the tefillin go like this. The most common tefillin of Rashi, tefillin, then there is tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam, Shimusha Rabbah, and then tefillin Ra'avad, that you hardly can hear about them. Very few, you hardly can hear about it. Tefillin of Rashi, those are the most common tefillin that everyone put, okay? And the sequence of the parshiyot, the only difference between all the 4 tefillin is the sequence that they put the parshiyot, the verses from the Torah, that they put inside the compartment of the tefillin. So tefillin of Rashi, it's go like this: Kadesh, the verse of Kadesh, והיה כי הביאך אל הארץ, שמע ישראל, והיה עם שמוע. That's the most common one that we know. Tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam, okay, they work on a sequence, different sequence. First of all, I have to explain that. That's that you see that most of the Chabad movement, from the moment that they have the obligation to put tefillin after bar mitzvah, sorry, you see them putting tefillin, different second tefillin, that's called Rabbeinu Tam. According to the Sfaradim, the Maran Shulchan Aruch, Rabbi Yosef Karo wrote in the Shulchan Aruch, that only Hasidim is pious, like Hasidut Chabad, and etc., they putting it. I don't come today, when I say today, not Dafka today, not long ago, Rav Ovadia Yosef, Zecher Tzadik Vekadosh Libracha, he pasken that every married person that is married and is shomer Torah and mitzvot should put also a tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam. That means that the Sfaradi also agreed that a person should put tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam after he get married. What is the sequence there? How do they put it in a compartment? What's the sequence of the parshiot? The parshiot is the verses. It's first Parashat Kadesh, Vehaya im Vehaya ki Viacha, and then the third parshia is Vehaya im Shamoa, and then the last is Parashat Shema. Oh, sorry, I'm yawning. And by the way, that's also the sequence of Tefillin of the Ravad. Tefillin of the Ravad, that Tefillin of Rabbeinu Avraham ben David. Okay? Then the fourth Tefillin, it's called Tefillin of Shimusha Rabbah. Shimusha Rabbah is usually people that put it, it's the Kabbalistic, the mystical rabbi put it. It's a tefillin that they usually put in mincha. They put it very modestly. They hide it usually. When they put it, it's not well known who wrote the Shimusha Rabbah, who came with that. I saw one opinion that say it's Sar Shalom. Sar Shalom is from the time of the Geonim. They say that he constitutes Shimusha Rabbah. Okay. But that mystical rabbi put it in mincha. When they do the Amidah, they have on him the tefillin of Shimusha Rabbah. What is the difference that we have between the tefillin of Yad and tefillin of Rosh? What's the difference between them? So we have to explain like this, that in a tefillin of Rosh, we have to explain that the tefillin of Rosh, the box are divided to 4 different compartments, while tefillin of Yad that we put on a hand, it's one big compartment. That's the difference between them. And that's where we put in every compartment in the tefillin of Rosh, the different parshiot. While in a tefillin of Yad, we put all the 4 parshiot together in one big compartment. That's the difference between them. The Mefarshim explain, I have to explain that the parshiot, the verses that written on a cloth, on a scroll, we have to understand that, and they're all written in a different sequence according to the tefillin, if it's Rashi or Rabbeinu Tam, like we explain, or if it's Shimusha Rabbah or the Rabbah. Okay? Now, in a tefillin of Rosh, the box are divided to 4 compartments, and every compartment we put the scroll and the parshiah. That means the verse that it's written there. While in a tefillin of Yad, that it's one box, like we explained, all the 4 parshiot been written on one scroll, okay, and one after each other, and then they fold it. That means that they have the compartment of one compartment, it's one long thing, and you just fold it in a sequence. You follow? And there is inside all the 4 parshiot. The Mefarshim explain and Hazal explain that tefillin of Rosh, the virtue of tefillin of Rosh is more than tefillin of Yad. The main reason for it, but because that we're focusing with the brain, we're focusing our mind to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We'll explain that later on. Why Dafka 4 parshiot? Why it's been constituted to write Dafka 4 parshiot? So to answer that, we have to look where we're putting the tefillin. The tefillin we put between the eyes, here, right in the end, where the hair is finishing. That's where tefillin of Rosh. While tefillin of hand is right here, where there is the cordova, okay, right here. Hazal explains something very important, that if you look carefully, we have two hands and we have two eyes. Together they four, which come to tell you that Hazal constitute for us that a person should put dafka four verses from the Torah, that it's going to be arba'a parshiyot. Why dafka arba'a? That we can focus with our two eyes and we can focus with our two hands. What does it mean? I will explain. That's not to look a thing that we forbidden to look. Not only that, that not to do things that we're not allowed to do with the hand. For example, stealing, robbing, and etc. Things that we're forbidden to do with the hand. That's the main reason that Hazal constitutes for us. That will be four different verses that's called Parshiyot inside the Tefilin. Towards the eyes, to remind us not to look at things that we're not allowed to look, and to hand, to remind us that we have two mitzvot that we're supposed to do with the hand, but there is also mitzvot that we're not allowed to do with the hand, that we're forbidden to do with the hand. Now I would like to go, after we explain briefly about the tefillin, I would like to explain the brachot. And here come a different situation of brachot. With the brachot, there is different opinion how to put the tefillin. The Sfaradim, when they put the tefillin, they start with tefillin of yad, like everyone else, and they hold the strip, and they say the bracha. Okay, when they finish, Asher kedeshanu b'mitzvotav tzivanu le'aniach tefillin, they tighten and they start putting the child stripping the tefillin, okay, on the hand. When they do tefillin shel rosh, they standing up and they don't say a bracha. Only if they talk between tefillin of yad and tefillin of rosh, or that their mind was in a different place, they didn't focus on a tefillin, then they have to say the bracha asher kedeshanu mitav tzivanu al mitzvat tefillin. The Ashkenazim put a tefillin while they're standing. They say the first brocha, le'aniach tefillin, and then when they take tefillin of Rosh and they put it on their head, they say al mitzvat tefillin. Now, when it's come to other tefillin, like tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam, those that put tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam, they don't say brocha. They don't say brocha on the tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam. They just put it straight. They take off Rashi and then they put Rabbeinu Tam. So now we understand that the Sfaradim say one brocha as long that they focus on a tefillin, that they don't take their mind between they don't take their thought and the mind from the tefillin while they're putting tefillin of the hand and the head. The Ashkenazim put the tefillin of the head, the tefillin of the hand, and they say brocha, then tefillin of the head, and they say brocha, and they say it while they're standing. The Sfaradim say tefillin, when they put the tefillin of the hand, they doing it while they're sitting. And when they're putting tefillin of Rosh, they're standing up and then they put it. The same case when they take the tefillin. They sit, when they take the tefillin, they're standing up, they take the tefillin off the head first. Then, when they take tefillin of head, they sit and take off the tefillin of the... Okay? We see here something very interesting. We see that there is a different minhagim. It's just a minhag. That's all is a minhag. Okay? That's regarding how you put a tefillin and the brachot that you say. When is the appropriate time to put tefillin? The time of putting tefillin, Rabotai, is all day. But the appropriate time that Hazal tell us that the right time to put it early as you can in the morning. Why dafka in the morning? Hazal say that after a person slept all night, his mind is clean from all fault. He's not busy with work anymore, you know? Because during the day, people work, they can't focus, their mind is all over at work, at the business. You can never tell. He said that the best time is in the morning, that you can focus and you can connect spiritually to Akadosh Baruch Hu. That's the main reason to do it in the morning. But if for some reason a person couldn't put tefillin, whatever happened, it's lo mishane why, it's not the point now. Chazal say that he can put it all day, but preferably that he should put it, listen to that, in tefillat mincha, if it's after afternoon, if he couldn't put it in the morning, that he will say tefillat amidah, the tefillah with tefillin on him. That's mean in mincha, when he daven mincha, if for some reason he couldn't put it, he couldn't daven in the morning for whatever reason it was, okay, preferably to put it when he daven mincha, to daven the amidah. That's the main thing. Obviously ashre, but the amidah, that to have tefillin of Rosh and for tefillin shel yad on him. Hazal explained why do we don't put tefillin at night, and Hazal explained there that the main reason that we don't put tefillin of Yad and tefillin of Rosh, all the tefillin at night, it's because we worried that the person might gonna pass wind, excuse my language, that because the tefillin is so holy, person not allowed to sleep with them, and not only that, not allowed to put them at night. Why? Shema yafiach bahem. Yafiach bahem, that he will pass wind. That's how Hazal say in a Shulchan Aruch. Shulchan Aruch, and everyone agree to it. Okay, so we say that we have to understand that the time of tefillin is mainly in the morning, but we have all day to put it. Not only that, just going to repeat it briefly, that the person have to make sure that if he didn't manage in the morning, he should do it in mincha, in a time of mincha, while he's saying tefillat amidah. Okay, we explain how to put the tefillin. The Sfaradim do the tefillin of hand while they're sitting, they're putting it, I repeat it again. When they put tefillin of Rosh, they're standing up. Now, when you hold the tefillin, many people hold it from the strap, and it's wrong. Hazal say, the poskim say that you actually mevazeh. Mevazeh is to embarrass the tefillin. What you should do, in one hand you hold the tefillin, and another hand you hold the strip, and then you put it on the head. And the same with tefillin of yad. You should not hold it only from the strap, you always hold it by the boxes. Okay? Not to desecrate the tefillin, to honor them. Okay? Again, when you take the tefillin, we explain that the Sfaradim take, while they're standing up, take tefillin of Rosh off. When they take tefillin of Yad, they're sitting and then they're taking. That's according to Ari HaKadosh, that's according to the Mekubalim. That's how the Sfaradim do, they follow the Ari HaKadosh and the Mekubalim. Then, while we already put the tefillin, it's a comment that we should do 3 strips on a middle finger. Why that we doing it? Why is it so important that we put 3 strips? And then we say, "V'yirastich li la'olam, v'yirastich b'tzedek u'mishpat." Why is it so important? Why is it? למה זה כל כך חשוב? Why is it so important? The Mefarshim say, listen to that. The same like a person when he gets married, what does he give the color? A wedding ring. That's our wedding ring with the Almighty. That's when we and the Almighty, as a Jewish people, getting married. That's how the Mefarshim explain. By that we tie the 3 knots on a finger, ורסתיך לי לעולם, ורסתיך לי בצדק ומשפט, ורסתיך לי באמונה, okay? That's our wedding, that's our bonding and our wedding ring with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So now we can understand how we're putting it. Now, many of you going to ask how many strips. There's 7 strips. Sometimes you see that the Sfaradim put 8 because the Sfaradim, it has to be full 7, but the Sfaradim run it from the Tefilin straight to here, and that doesn't consider as a full strip. So it looks like 8 on the top, but at the bottom you'll see that it's 7. It have to have full 7 strip on the head. That's many people ask that question. Now, I would like to move on to the second part. What does the word tefillin mean? The word tefillin. So Hazal explained in a Mishnah in Masechet Shabbat, in chapter 6, verse 5, Mishnah 5, Hazal explained like this, that the word tefillin means tetaf, tetpat, tet, tat, pat, tat, pat. What did they call the tefillin tat, pat? It's mean that Hazal explained in the Mishnah that it means a jewelry. That's our crown that we get from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, okay? And that's our bracelet that we get from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That means that the tefillin, it's a special jewelry that we get from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Ya'abetz, the famous Ya'abetz, Rabbi Yaakov Israel Ben Tzvi Emden. Okay, he born in Germany. Now again, he born around, if I'm not mistaken, around 326, 327. Why am I saying it? Because there's a difference between the Jewish calendar and the English calendar. So I'm not sure exactly until the year changed. And it's going to be exactly, I can tell you exactly. And he said, and he explained why they call it tefillin. And he said that the word tefillin, it's milshon mahshava. Mahshava is a thought. That when a person put a tefillin, he making a mitzvah, okay, with the thought. That means with the power of thought, with the energy of thought, he born to the Almighty. And that's what they call it tefillin. That's the Ya'abetz, the famous Ya'abetz. There's a question. Now we spoke until now about the tefillin. Hazal say that when the Jewish people put tefillin, also the Almighty put a tefillin. The Kadosh Baruch Hu put a tefillin. If you want to check it out, it's Gemara Masechet Brachot, page 6, folio 1. Hazal say in the Gemara, what kind of a tefillin that HaKadosh Baruch Hu put? What it mean, what kind? We know that in our tefillin, it's 4 parshiyot, 4 different verses from the Torah. What verses written on tefillin of HaKadosh Baruch Hu? And the compartment that HaKadosh Baruch Hu have in a box, what does it say there? Listen what Hazal in the Gemara say. Hazal in the Gemara, again, Masechet Brachot, page 6, folio 1. Hazal say, Mi ke'amcha Israel. Who's like your nation? Israel. That's all. That's it, the feeling of the Kadosh Baruch Hu. What does it mean, Rabotai? That when a Jewish person put at a feeling, Kadosh Baruch Hu great nachas. We'll see just now what Hazal say, what Mefarshim explain, what HaKadosh Baruch Hu do to a person that put tefillin. We're going to get to it now. So we're learning from here that the Almighty also put tefillin, Hazal say. In his tefillin it's written, it's Gemara Masechet Brachot, page 6, folio 1, I repeat it again. Mika Amcha Israel. Who's like your great nation, Israel? What's the reason that we put tefillin? Why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu constitute for us the mitzvah tefillin, the mitzvah of putting tefillin? What's so important about it? So Hazal explained that the main reason on a pshat of the dvarim, that when a person put the tefillin of Yad and tefillin of Rosh, dates that to focus the thought of the mind, to focus the heart to the Almighty. That means that a person should bind himself with a thought, with a heart to the Almighty. That means that a person all the time, that if he bound his mind and his thought, he actually can do atonement. And that's the secret. What does it mean? When a person binds his mind to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he can do atonement to deeds that he done with the mahshava, action that he done, bad action that he done with thought, things that he shouldn't look, bad thing that he looked at, okay, bad thing that he thought. And the hand that is towards the heart, he can do tshuva, that has v'shalom, if he's stolen or done robbery, whatever, I don't want to say murder and etc. Whatever negative thing that we do with the hand, that can do atonement. That's the power of the tefillin. Rabbi Yehuda Levy. Rabbi Yehuda Levy, born in the city of Toledo, the same city of Maran, Shulchan Aruch. He born around 952 years ago in Toledo in Spain. And in his book, the famous philosophy book that's called the Kuzari, I'm sure that many of you know that it was an argument between him and Melech Kuzar in chapter 3 there. If you look from the beginning of chapter 3 until from verse 1 to verse 7, he explained like this. And he explained that the main reason that we're putting the tefillin of Yad and tefillin of Rosh, it's to connect us with the thought and with the heart to the Almighty, but it's to bring us the special energy where the person have all of his energy. The energy is in a mind and the energy is in a heart. That means to connect these two energies to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's how Rabbi Yehuda Levy explained in his book, Sefer Kuzari. There is another interpretation that brought by Rabbi Aaron HaLevi. There is some people say that it's not Rabbi Aaron HaLevi, it's the book called Sefer HaChinuch. In Mitzvah Taf Chaf Aleph, that means 421. There, but most of the people agree that Sefer HaChinuch been written by Rabbi Aaron HaLevi. Rabbi Aaron HaLevi, born in the city of Gorondia. Gorondia is in Spain. He born around 789, 790 years ago in Spain. And in Mitzvah 421, he explained that every person born with desire, with inclination, and a person in need quite often a reminder, okay, to work on himself. And the job of the tefillin, when we put them, it's to remind us to control those desires, to work on ourselves, to overcome the inclination that there is on each one of us. So that's mean when we put the tefillin in the morning and the head and on the yad, it's to remind us that we have to work on ourselves to overcome those desires that we have on us, not to be like animals that follow her desire. The Maharal Miprag, who was the Maharal Miprag? The Maharal Miprag was Rabbi Yehuda Levy ben Betzalel. Sorry, I needed a little bit. He born around 504 years ago, 505 years ago. He born in Poland, and he wrote in his book Netzach Israel. in chapter 7, page 7, funny enough, both of them 7, he said that the tefillin, it's a very holy thing, like we know. And the main reason that they constitute for us to put it on the hand and on the head, that we can actually bond to the Almighty, to help us to connect, to get that special energy to bond to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Harav Kook, Harav Aaron Yitzhak Cohen Cook, he born around 159, 160 years ago in Latvia. He explained it more on a pshat. And he said like this, that when you put a battery, okay, in a machine, the machine starts working. He said that the tefillin, it's a battery for a man. That means that's the source of energy that the person can start the day to charge himself. That means that's the charging point where we get the energy in the morning before we start the day. And that's why we put tefillin. That means the job of the tefillin is like a battery. It's a source of energy to us. So now we understand why we're putting tefillin. What's hiding behind putting the tefillin? But before I continue, they've done a research by a Chinese medical, those that follow the Chinese medical, I forgot the name, what is it called? The medical Chinese, I don't know how you call it, Chinese medic, whatever you want to call it. And they found out, listen to that when you put tefillin of Rosh, the tefillin of Rosh, it's actually doing special pressure point in the hand, in the head, sorry, I say in the head, on the head, that release serotonin, that to make us like doing exercise and to be more cheerful, more happy. While in the hand, they have a different point that can work out all the 613, both of them together, they work like 613 points on the body, the same like the Taryag mitzvot that we have. That's mean to give us a special energy. Okay, that's how they found out why we're putting. So that's from a Chinese medical point. The Jewish people, Ado in the Kabbalah, explain that in depth, what is those energy points do to us in a more spiritual level. Let's continue on with the virtue of a person that puts tefillin. The Zohar HaKadosh in Parashat Bo, he said that the person that putting tefillin every day, he actually subdued the Yetzer Hara. Okay? And when he say, listen to that, when he have tefillin on him and he says Shema Israel, when a person have tefillin of Yad and tefillin of Rosh on him, and he says Shema Israel, he actually not only that he subdue his Yetzer Hara, he also shech the Yetzer Hara. That means he gets rid and that time the Yetzer Hara from him. Unbelievable. But obviously he's focusing, you know what I'm saying? In the Gemara in Masechet Menachot in page 34, folio 1, Hazal say in the Gemara something very interesting. A person that put tefillin, you know what's the virtue of it? He say it's a remedy for long life. That means a person that put tefillin live long life. That's the virtue. It's a remedy to live long life. Chazal say in the Gemara, Masechet Menachot, Lamed Daled Amud Aleph, 34, folio 1. Continue. In Halachot Ktanot, that wrote Rabbeinu Asher, in the end of Masechet Barachot, listen what he said. He said, a person that put tefillin and wrap himself with a tzitzit, muftach lo shu ben olam haba. That means that a person that obviously put tefillin and wrap himself with a tzitzit, okay, he's have a guarantee that he's ben olam haba. He have a place for olam haba. That's according to Rabbi. Abaye said that when a person put tefilin, listen to that, en eshel gehenom sholetet bo. Abaye said that the power of putting tefillin, that has v'shalom, if the person have to go to Gehenna, the fire of Gehenna cannot touch him. That's the power and the virtue of tefillin. Rav Papa say, okay, arev ani lo. That's okay, okay, that the person that put tefillin, nimhalim lo kol avonotav. A person that put tefillin and he focusing and he davening properly, all of his sin get erased. That's Rav Papa. There is a midrash, I never mentioned it before, it's called Hesronot Ve'itronot. Hesronot Ve'itronot, it's an ancient midrash on a Tanakh. It's explained the Tanakh. It's a very, very ancient midrash. It's the first time that I'm bringing that midrash. And he said, Kol ha'mekayem mitzvat tefillin ki'ilu kiyem kol ha'torah kula. A person that fulfilled the mitzvah of tefillin properly, when we explain what does it mean properly, that the tefillin have to be here, and the stripes gonna be black on the outside, okay, and tefillin of yad, he put it properly, and the all kosher, and when he doing it, when he do the mitzvah of tefillin, he focusing on a davening. Say Hazal in a midrash, listen to that, it's considered lakiyem et kol Torah kula. Midrash, listen to that, Hesronot Ve'itronot. That's the name of the midrash. It's an ancient midrash. That a person that fulfill the mitzvah of tefillin, that doing the mitzvah of tefillin, putting tefillin properly, kosher tefillin, putting them properly on the right place, and focusing, it's considered like he done, he fulfill all the mitzvot of the Torah. Unbelievable. That's the power of mitzvah tefillin. In the midrash, it say that a person that, listen to that, Rabotai, that you all gonna love it. A person that put tefillin, okay, the Almighty came and he hugged him and he kissed him on the head. Each one of us that we put tefillin, we don't feel it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu come, give us his huge hug and kiss us on the head. Which one of us doesn't want the Kadosh Baruch Hu to hug us? Not only that, on top of that, he kisses us on the head. Unheard of. That's the virtue of tefillin. Now I would like to go to another stage that I'm sure that all of you have that question all the time. Many of us ask why the tefillin have, the color of the tefillin have to be black, dafka. Why dafka black? What's hiding behind it? So Hazal in the Gemara Masechet Shabbat in page 28, folio 2, say according to the plat, Shehi halacha leMoshe miSinai. That means that the main reason that the color of tefillin is black, it's a law that Moshe brought us in Mount Sinai. That's Gemara Masechet Shabbat 28, folio 2. But Harav Chaim Palaji, Rabbi Chaim Palaji, born, if I'm not mistaken, around 236, 237 years ago, in the city of Izmir in Turkey. And in his book, Yafeh Lalev, there on Orach Chaim, okay, in mitzvah, if I'm not mistaken, Orach Chaim Kafei, yeah. And also I saw that it's brought in the name of Maaseh Bereshit, he told me here, and also Rabbi Yehuda Hasid. And they explain what's the secret behind the black color. And they say like this, that the black color of the tefillin mean total unity between us and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That means the color black showed the unity, the total unity. Actually, to be careful to say exactly the word, total unity between us and the Almighty. And that's why it has to be black. We have to understand that Hazal explained that many people will think that maybe that the tefillin should be gold, silver, name it, different color. Say Hazal that you have to understand that the same, if HaKadosh Baruch Hu told us black, it has to be black. We're not allowed to change any color. Tefillin all the time has to be black. What I want to explain, what is total unity? The unity means the same like the Almighty is one, we also one, the Jewish nation. That means that we showing here that the unity, like a Kadosh Baruch Hu is one, Hashem Echad, we Am Israel is one that devoted to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That means that the unity between the Jewish people and HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it's to show like we have only one God, we're not going to replace this God, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu chose us as his nation, he's not going to change us with any other nation. And that's what's hiding behind the color black of the tefillin. Now, as you all know, we have on a tefillin shin. You see on the side shin. We do dalet that there is on the head of, in the back of the tefillin, and on the hand there is yud. Shem shin dalet yud. Shomer daltot Israel. That's the holy name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu that we have. Shin, we have it on tefillin of Rosh. Dalet in the back, a tie that we have in the back of the strip, and on tefillin of Yad, just by the box, we have Yud, and that's then Shin Dalet Yud. Okay, that's the name of the Almighty, the holy name of the Almighty Shaddai. There is some people just that's of the record that the Sfaradim do Shin on the hand, you know, to show the letters Shin, also on the hand to show Shem Shaddai. Okay, in a tefillin of the Rosh, if you look carefully in the front, there is 3 strings standing up. Why that? Why there is 3 strings of hair standing up? What's so special about it? So I saw a commentary of Rabbi Avraham Saba. Rabbi Avraham Saba, born in Spain. He born in Castilla, city of Castilla. He born around 584, 585 years ago, plus minus. He born in Spain. He said that in every mitzvah that we do, we have to give the evil inclination, the Satan, his portion. For example, after we eat bread, before we say Birkat Hamazon, we do Mayim Achronim. That we giving him his portion, his dirty part. The same we do in the Brit Milah. When we do the Brit Milah, what do? We cut the foreskin. That foreskin immediately we put it in a sand. Because it's full of tumor, we given the evil inclination to be busy with that. So every mitzvah that we do, there's certain things that we have to give a share for the Yetzirah, that he should not prosecute against us, that he have nothing bad to say against us. For example, when the people get married, we break the glass. One of the things that we say is to remember that Jerusalem, the Bet HaMikdash is not built, but Jerusalem is not completed. But on the other way, we break in the glass, okay, that to show like we damaged something, so the evil inclination will take that part that not going to cause us any harm when people get, not to spoil the simcha of the wedding. So that's why there is 3 hairs sticking out of the Tefillin Rosh. I would like to conclude with a story, and I think that we can learn from it a lot, and it's to help us in those difficult times that we are now, that every soldier, those people that been kidnapped, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu Ya'azor v'Yirachem, that they're all going to return healthy to their home, Bri'im v'Shlemim, healthy and healthy, please God. That we need a lot of mitzvot, and our soldier in the south, in the north, the member of the security, the soldier in all over Eretz Israel. It's a war that it's in different places in Eretz Israel. North, south, inside Eretz Israel, outside Eretz Israel, with the Houthi, the Yemen, all over, with Iran, wherever you want. We are surrounded with enemy. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu will protect them and guard them. Okay, all the Jewish people, wherever they are in the diaspora, we see all the demonstration. We should take on us a little mitzvah. And I would like to tell a story regarding a mitzvah of tefillin that happened around 12 years ago, plus minus. And Rabotai, this is a true story. Listen to that. It was a guy that slowly come closer to Yiddishkeit, and he started going to yeshiva, become Bahur Yeshiva. And his brother was in the army, also officer in the Israeli Defense Force. And from every 2 weeks that the brother used to come from the army, and he used to come from the yeshiva, they used to meet on Shabbos, on the weekend, and they used to talk. And the religious brother that became Hazer B'Tshuva said to his brother, listen, come one day to the yeshiva and listen, come listen. Maybe you're going to be interested. He said to him, listen, my brother, you chose your way. I didn't tell you to take it, not to take it. God bless you. You stay where you are. Leave me alone and we'll stay good friends. But that brother never gave up. Every time he used to say, drop something. And one day, he decided he's going to touch a very sensitive point. He said, come and get a brocha from the Rabbi. Why did he say that? His brother that was in the army, that was an officer in the army, was married for 10 years. And he never had children. So he said to him, come to my Rabbi, get a brocha. He said, I'll tell you what, I'm willing to come to get a brocha. I don't want publicity. I'm going to do it quietly. Very hush-hush. He said, that's fine. He came to Arav Elbaz. Arav Elbaz is Rosh Yeshivat Or HaChaim HaKadosh in Yerushalayim. Very well known, great mashpia, great mahzir b'tshuva, unbelievable rabbi. And he's sitting in the front of him and they're talking. And he said to him, Rabbi, the problem is I'm married for 10 years and I don't have kids for 10 years. The doctors told me that if I want kids, I must adopt. The rabbi looked at him and he said to him, I'm going to do with you a deal. Do you agree? He said, let me listen. He said, put tefillin for 1 month and your wife going to fall pregnant. He said, what are you talking about? Do you listen? What are you talking about? Did you hear what I said to you? The doctor said that there's no chance that me and my wife will have kids. I need to adopt. And you told me 1 month? The rabbi looked at him and answered him like this. Is there is one word that wasn't clear to you with what I said? 1 month, I said. And then come back to me. He said to himself, you know what do I have to lose? Immediately they got for him tefillin, listen to that, and he started putting tefillin. But he had one problem, that he used to sleep as one of the high officer with the brigadier. in the same tent. And every morning he decided how I'm going to put tefillin that my brigadier wouldn't laugh on me. He said he used to put the tefillin an hour earlier before we wake, and he used to go and put tefillin. He used to go out of the tent, wash himself, prepare himself, daven, and then come back. And one time it happened that the brigadier didn't feel. The second time. The third time, he didn't even realize, but the brigadier was lying on a bed and left the tent open and looking at him like this. And while he's davening, the brigadier didn't say a word, just looking at him. When he finished, when he came in, he said to him, the brigadier said to that soldier, can I put a tefillin? He said, sure, yes, the tefillin. I didn't know that you wanted to put tefillin. The brigadier immediately stood up, washed his hand, washed his hand, put tefillin. He knew exactly what to do. That man was shocked, that officer. He said, I was embarrassed to put tefillin from the brigadier. He asked the brigadier, why are you not putting tefillin if you know how to put it? He said, I was embarrassed of you. One was embarrassed of each other to put tefillin. Okay. They put tefillin every time that was in the army. A month go by, 2 months. By the third month, the wife said to that officer, listen, I'm pregnant. That was 12 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. No, 10 years ago, you already have a daughter. Since then, you have another kid. You have more than one kid, Baruch Hashem. What do we see, Rabotai? The power of tefillin, that energy that we're speaking, that I explained earlier, that we get in the brain and in the heart, that connect us to the Almighty, that energy, work on 613 mitzvot. Ramah Evarim v'shisa gidim. That means it's bringing energy to all the organ, all the vein in the body. And that's the strength of mitzvah tefillin. And Rabotai, today, all of the soldiers, all of Am Yisrael need a lot of merit. If we can convince a person to do any mitzvah, not necessarily tefillin, any mitzvah that he can do, if a person can convince his friend to keep Shabbat, to say Birkot HaShahar, or to say Brocha before we eat, or to say Birkat HaMazon, or Netilat Yadayim, whatever is it. Okay, to light candle for the woman, Shmirat Taharat HaMishpacha, whatever it means, purity of the family, whatever mitzvah that we can do extra in those difficult times that we are now, that the Jewish people, not only in Eretz Israel, all over the world. You can see what's happening in England. You can see in Europe. Europe is like a bubble that's going to explode any minute. America. Eretz Israel surrounded. Here in South Africa, we're not so popular. Any mitzvah extra that we can do, extra shi'ur Torah that we can learn, okay, extra tehillim that we can say for the soldiers. Rabotai, every mitzvah can stand for the soldiers. I heard a show, I think I mentioned it earlier. I think on Thursday night, I mentioned it, in a show on Thursday night, that the brigadier of the unit of Kol Golani spoke to a rabbi. And he said to the rabbi, Rabbi, I want to ask you a favor. Tell all those that you know in your yeshiva, all of those that you know, that when we doing our mission, mainly at night, that start from darkness, especially from 11 o'clock until 5 o'clock in the morning, it's much harder than during the day. Why? Because many people sleeping. Ask people to take on himself to do more mitzvot. He said, that's my request for me to Am Yisrael. That's the head of the unit that's called Golani. It's a combat unit. So if each one of us take extra mitzvah. Or convince friends, kids, brothers, sisters, parents, whatever the case is. Just do one more mitzvah, one more little mitzvah. How much more mitzvot that can bring, and how we can change the decree. We can turn the decree Chas v'Shalom to more positive. About in the last 2 days, we lost too many soldiers died. One more. One soldier is one too many. One too many. If we can take on ourselves one extra mitzvah, read Tefilin. Those that don't light candle, to light candle on Shabbat. Those that don't say netilat yadayim, to do netilat yadayim. That's all. Don't ask for difficult things. Small little thing just to take on ourselves. How much we can change the decree on a Jewish people. But remember that the power of Tefilin, it's work on this all. There are mach evarim v'shisagidim. That means that the power of Tefilin work on all the organ, not only all the organ, all the vein on the body. Ramach evarim v'shisagidim. So, Be'ezrat Hashem, now that we learn a little bit about Tefillin, the power of the Tefillin, the virtue of the Tefillin, please God, next time when we davening with the Tefillin on us, when we pray, we can understand the energy that we can bring and the bond that we can bond to the Almighty together. That means that we can bound ourselves to HaKadosh Baruch Hu with that special energy that there is in a Tefillin. And Be'ezrat Hashem, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will show us miracle, release the hostages, and bring them back home healthy, Be'ezrat Hashem, Bre'im v'Shlemim, and protect all the Jewish people all over the world. Protect the member of the Israeli Defense Force, the member of the security forces in Israel, the member of the intelligence, the member of the police, every Jew, every soldier, that no harm going to happen to him, Be'ezrat Hashem, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu will send us Mashiach Tzidkenu speedily in our day. Amen. Ken Yehi Ratzon. Be'ezrat Hashem, those of you that want to ask questions, please unmute the microphone. B'chavod. Ken, b'chavod, Louis, Shkoach. How are you, Louis? Baruch Hashem, Shavua Tov. How are you?
Shavua Tov. Fine, fine. We pray every day. We hope that all our Israeli brethren will be safe.
Amen.
They must stay safe.
Amen, amen, amen. Yes.
Let us put in the extra prayer every day.
Extra prayer, extra focusing, the extra mitzvah that we can do.
Yeah,
Yes.
the extra mitzvah, just to get all the soldiers, please God, to be safe.
Amen, amen, amen. Shukran.
Oh, thanks, Rabbi. It was a very good share. Thank you.
Thank you. Any question, Rabotai? I just see here, I just want to ask a private question here. Nothing to do with the show. I see here two iPhone. One of them I know that it's Jeffrey, our friend Jeffrey, but there's another iPhone with the number 082 77 41158. I see that it's muted. I would like to know who's that? Who's with us? Who's that number? If you don't mind identifying yourself, tell us who you are. Just unmute yourself. No, he doesn't.
You don't have to be. He doesn't have to be shy.
I don't know why he's shy. Yeah, I just want to welcome him, because who's with us now? I see that Norman with us, Stephen Kabechnik with us, Louis obviously, Brian and Glenda with us, Hilton, Jeffrey with us, Ivan, Anthony with us, Dr. Les with us, Shmuli with us, Oh, Philip also with us. Philip Kalmanovich with us. Shkoach, Philip, for joining us. Lionel Pogo with us. Shkoach, everyone with us. Hilton Kaplan with us also. Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. Okay, any other question, Rabotai, regarding the subject of Tefillin? Those of you that want to ask question. Jeffrey, any question? You usually have a good comment on a show.
Well,
Jeffrey,
well, a good one, but just as a
Shavua
couple of
Tov, Shavua Tov.
Shavua Tov. Shavua Tov, Rob.
I hope
And
that you
everybody.
enjoyed the show, Jeffrey. I hope that you
Yeah, it's
enjoyed it.
fantastic. And thanks, Les, for the update. Rob, when you mentioned when we put on Tefilin, and on the back of the hand it's done as a shin, and on the finger we do three. We roll the strap around, and then across. It's also like three straps, so it's also like a shin, like the back of the hand. So and that's the third finger. Now you said it's like a wedding ring with a shem. You know, it represents. But a wedding ring is not on the third finger; it's on the first finger. Why do we do the strap on the third finger?
We never put it there. We never put it. This is the hazaka that we have. 3, number 3 mean hazaka.
Yes.
If you repeat time 3, that's the hazaka. That is our wedding ring with Almighty. The wedding ring doesn't make a difference where you put it. After you get married, some people put it on that finger, you see. Some people put it on this finger. Some people put it on this hand, on a different finger. The 3 stripes to show hazaka and to tell that's our marriage, and that's the marriage ring with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's the wedding ring of the Jewish people with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You follow?
Right. Yes. There was another. Oh yes, when we put on Tefillin, we mentioned it's like we're doing all those 613 mitzvahs. If we're doing it with kavanah and it's done properly and we're focused and what have you. Okay. So the point is this.
Whoa. Let me stop you here. I just want to mention 613 mitzvot. That's Ramach Evarim v'Shisa Gedim. Okay? So that's 600. Okay. That it's the organ and the vein that we have. And that's how we bring energy to each one of those 613. Continue. Yes.
It brings the energy to it. So, but it's not like we've actually done them, is it? It brings energy to it. But it's not we've done that, because if we done 613, then how can we add on a mitzvah to do an extra mitzvah if we've already done the 613 by putting on the tefillin?
So what does it mean? The virtue of that mitzvah, it's equivalent to all the mitzvot that there is in the Torah. You understand? That the virtue of that mitzvah, it's equivalent to all the mitzvot. That the virtue of that mitzvah give enough energy to Taryag mitzvot, that's 613 mitzvot that we have. But it's given enough energy to heal the 613 vein and organ that we have in our body together.
I see.
That's energy. You understand? It's one mitzvah that's equivalent to all of them.
Right. Okay, you also mentioned, Rob, that I mean, in passing. It was in passing, but I must bring it up. You see, you don't put the tefillin at night, and perhaps one of the comments is that perhaps because there's wind at night. Now, the point is this, and funny enough, it's always wondered. It always worried me what the Torah said when the Kohen were doing the services. They didn't break wind. It was a miracle. during the service, and I didn't understand what on earth did they have to do.
Why? I'll explain to you why. I'll explain now why. But as I'll explain, that the person not allowed to daven in a place that there is a bad smell. But if there is a bad smell, you can't daven there. You have to move from there. Okay? Why? Because we're talking to the Almighty. We're drawing a special energy. And where's all the fools going to? Where's the who living? Where's all the fools? The negative forces. Okay, I don't have to develop it. Not at night. Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
And what we're trying to say that we pure, our body pure. Okay. After all, we human being. Yes. And that's what a person has to clean himself in the morning before we go to daven.
Right. There was one more. I'm just trying to work out what it's to do. Wait. Sorry, Rob. I've got to collect my thoughts. I'm just.
Okay. Hilton, while you're thinking, Hilton, just unmute yourself because you wrote for me something and I didn't have a chance to read it because I was focusing with Jeffrey. If you don't mind, just explain to us what you said. I read it, but I didn't finish to read it. It was going so quickly. Please explain to us, Hilton.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clearly.
Okay. Some of us, when we put on tefillin, want the retort on the shal yad. We want the tefillin, the retort inwards, and some of us want outwards.
So the Sfaradim go from the in to the out.
Yeah.
The Ashkenazim go from the out to the in. Nachon? That's what you're referring to. Correct me if I'm wrong?
Yeah.
Yes. What's the question? What is the question?
So is that a minhag or is that?
Okay, it's a minhag, but some people say that what we're doing, that the Sfaradim go from the inside to the outside. That's reaching from the heart to the outside. That's one interpretation that I hear. The other interpretation, that the Sfaradim go for the Ashkenazim go from the outside, reaching from the outside to the inside. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Working on themselves from the outside to the in, while the Sfaradim from the in to the out. Beseder?
Hilton? Thanks. Okay. Thanks, Rob.
Okay. Is that what you asked me?
Yeah.
Is that what you asked me?
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Hello.
Who wanted to ask? Stephen, Erev Tov, Shavua Tov. How are you?
Baruch Hashem and yourself, Rav.
Thank you.
What I found meaningful when I put on my tefillin just before is that in the Siddur there is that meditation in the Siddur which gives you all that you mentioned about all the intentions that you have to have with your. It gives that all that. It's very, very useful to do so when before putting on tefillin. I found
the kavanot. What you're talking about, what you should be focusing to reach, to try to get all of those energies. Nachon? That's what you're referring to, if I'm not mistaken.
It's very meaningful to read that before you put on tefillin.
Nachon. Shkwa. Thank you, Stephen. Jeffrey, you wanted?
Yes.
Sorry, I cut you in the middle, but you was
no
while you was thinking.
Sorry. No problem.
Yes,
everyone must have a say. We notice that there are two different types of tefillin, and I've seen people davening and then
four.
Sorry, no, 4 different types. Sorry, I meant there are the 4 different types, but the 2 main one is the Rashi and the Rabbeinu Tam. So the thing is, I've noticed that some people have 2 sets of tefillin, and
and how they put them, one here, one in the front.
Yeah,
and the same on the hand. They're very small. Let me explain to you. And they put the strips together, two. That's what you're referring to,
yeah. But one of the things, yes, there's two of them. There's
That's Tefillin of Rashi. If you look, it's Tefillin of Rashi first, Tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam, Tefillin of Rashi, Tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam. Why they doing it? Because תוצא ידי חובת כל הדעות, to fulfill all the opinion that even those that say that we're not sure if we should put Rabbeinu Tam, some people say Rashi is the most important, that's why we say the brachot. And when we put Rabbeinu Tam, we don't say any brachot. So people make it small tefillin, they put them both, two tefillin of on a head, Rabbeinu Tam and Rashi, and then Rabbeinu Tam and Rashi on a hand, to fulfill all the mitzvot, to make sure that all the davening, they have both of the tefillin. That's more Hasidim, those that in that categories of level. That's all what is it. כדי שיצא ידי כל החובות, כל הדעות. That means that according to all opinion, we fulfill the mitzvah. The mitzvah of Rashi and the mitzvah of Rabbeinu Tam.
okay. One last question, Rob. Thank you.
Thank you.
When Moshe was speaking to Hashem, and Hashem said, "Well, I can't see you. You can't see my face.
Nachon.
You can't see my face." And he saw Hashem. Well, he saw the what he understood from not the face, the back. Now, was Hashem wearing the tefillin?
That's what you're referring to.
Yes, that's the one.
My back you saw.
Yes.
The back part you saw. What do you think it's the back part? But my front part, you cannot see. That's what you're referring now.
Yes, I'm referring to that.
Okay.
Has that got to do with? I don't know where I heard about it. It was many years ago that Hashem was wearing tefillin, and he and on the back he could see.
Okay. So what you're saying, when Hakadosh Baruch Hu spoke to Moshe Rabbeinu, he was wearing tefillin. Is that what you're referring to?
Yes.
I heard also that, and let me explain to you, that Hazal tell us that the sages, that they all have a profession. That one was sandlar, was a shoemaker. One was a napah. Napah is used to work with metal, used to work with iron, with steel, you know what I'm saying? One was a person that used to be a tree chopper. That's Hillel Zaken. Each one of our sages have a job.
Different trade.
They work for their living, They used to wear tefillin all day on them while they was working. Today we can't do that because unfortunately we are in a different state of mind, different state of living, that we cannot focus on a tefillin all day. They used to work, physical work, and the mind was with the tefillin and with the tefillin of Rosh, tefillin of Yad. They never took their thought from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Today we can't do that. Why do they do that? That's what connects them to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's what they say, what you're saying, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that when he spoke to Moshe Rabbeinu, correct me if I'm wrong, that he spoke to him while he had tefillin on him. Nachon?
Yeah, nachon.
That's it. Where it comes from that point of view, that's where Hazal learned. The Kadosh Baruch Hu wears the tefillin all day long.
Okay, so Robert, I had to smile when you said that one of the remedies, when you wear tefillin, and there's a remedy for long life. What do you call a long life?
Very long, a long life. Very good. What is a long life? So Hazal say, after the age of 60, if a person gone over the age of 60, Hazal say in the Gemara, listen to it. Rabbi Yossi made a party. He reached over the age of 60. He passed the age of karet. Past the age of karet, he done a mesiba, done a party. He invite people to his house, and they have a meal and they stop divrei Torah. Chazal tell us, im begvurot 80 שנה. גבורות is 80 שנה.
80.
Yeah. Baruch Hashem, today many people go over the age of 80.
You're listening to one.
We don't know, long life that HaKadosh Baruch Hu basically fulfill the year and the day that he wrote for you. And it's not shortened. But sometimes people can shorten their life by the averot.
Of course. Of course. Thanks, Rabbi. It was just as passing.
That is a lovely
Yes,
Yiddish
Louis Bechavot.
expression.
Sorry, Louis?
It's a
Rav,
lovely
just-
Yiddish expression. He's 120 years.
Amen. Amen. To
Amen.
120
Amen.
to all Am Israel. But not only 120. The Chokhmah is to
Yep.
reach to 120 with help. That we all gonna be healthy to dance on a wedding of our grandchildren. And not only that, to see Mashiach Tzidkenu when we dance.
Oh man, oh man.
That's the
Amen.
Chokhmah.
Yeah.
Amen.
Good. Good. Any other question?
Thank you.
Yes. What is the significance of having when you put on the tefillin that you have the word the God's name or Shakai on when you
Shem Shaddai. Okay. First of all, Shem Shaddai, it's a name of protection that we put, if you look at the mezuzah, Shin Daled Yud, that's what you're referring to. So we
precisely.
said the acronym of that, the acronym of those, Shomer Daltot Israel, guarding the doors of the Jewish people. It's the name that it's like a guardian name that protects us. So when a person puts Tefilin, if you look, he put it here, right here. He create all day. The Mekubalim say, all day. There's a special vow. There's a special vow surrounding it. הערה שמאירה אותו כל היום, אומרים המקובלים. It's a special light that stay on him all day, that protects him. The person that put Tefilin. It's a special light that we don't see. But it was a professor in Eretz Israel. He was a scientist. Today he's already a very religious person. And he wanted to check what is Tefilin. He wasn't religious. And he done hundreds and hundreds of tests on people. And he checked people with Tefilin, people without Tefilin, with special laser camera, with special equipment that you can't believe. And he said that whenever a person walked into the room, and he didn't know if he put Tefillin or not, when he put that special camera or laser, I don't know how to call it, he saw what was surrounding and protecting them all day.
Sure.
And he said that's what make him decide that he's going to be Hozer B'tshuva.
Sure. Amazing.
So the power of Tefillin is to create and surround around you. It's a special light that we call it like a veil that all day. That's how the Mekubalim explain. Sorry, how they call it?
An aura. A-U-R-A.
Aura is in Hebrew. Aura is in Hebrew. זה גורם לאורה. יש לו אורה מיוחדת. I don't know how in English you call it. We call it a veil and a light. Aura.
It's called an aura.
Yes.
Okay.
A-U-R.
Okay. So there's a special אורה שמאירה מעליו כל היום. מעל הראש.
Sure.
All
Amazing.
around the head. And that's the power of Tefillin. Special guardian.
But and if you look at it, but this week's Pasha might have to do also with Yaakov when he was lying down.
נכון? והנה מלאכי השם עולים ויורדים בו. מה זה עולים ויורדים בו? There's a step ladder from earth to heaven. And the angel go up and down. Up and down. The angel have nothing else to do to go up and down מה לעשות, you need to change your board. They saw a special aura. What did they saw? Be'ezrat Hashem, on Tuesday, remind me, please, Stephen, Jeffrey, please remind me, I'll speak about it. What did they saw? Okay.
Super.
But I would like to end up with a story. The Zohar HaKadosh, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai said, אין ישראל נגאלים אלא בזכות Sefer HaZohar. That means in the power of the Sefer HaZohar they can be redeemed. It was a lady, that non-religious lady in Kibbutz Be'eri. I saw the video. I saw the video in my own eyes that she speak. And she have a book of the Zohar. Believe it or not. She's not religious. Rabotai, she's not religious. I have to say that. And she have the book of Zohar. She have the book of Zohar. She opened Parashat Pinchas. When she hear the attack, she jumped into a closet, not to the mamad, to a closet. That means the cupboard. She hid behind the clothes, and she was reading the Zohar. And she says, suddenly, she doesn't understand. She start connecting, and she felt like a cloud protecting her. She heard the people, those terrorists coming, looking around, leaving. Then they go next door. She SMS to the lady, listen, they're coming to you. She heard how they kill her. Then she shot, those terrorists shot, and they broke her window. And opposite that, it's the cupboard. She showed it. Not one scratch on a cupboard. That means that's cloud that protect, because people read the Zohar, they don't understand, even if they make mistake, the power of the Zohar, when you read it, it's to help us to be redeemed from that exile. Say Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, the power of the Zohar, that's the secret of the Torah. You can read it, you don't have to understand it, it's all in Aramaic, most of it is in Aramaic, not all of it. And believe me, if you make mistake, there's no problem with that. That power is to eliminate any evil forces in the world, any terrorist. The energy of reading Zohar, especially at night, it's to eliminate as many more terrorists. That's the power of the Zohar.
Are we allowed to, Rob? Are we allowed to? Because there's always this thing about.
Yes, you're allowed to read the Zohar. The Zohar you're allowed to read at night. It's a law Tanakh.
Because there's always been this prohibition that say you can't learn Zohar until you're a certain age. You still got all the different learning and all that sort of stuff.
You don't have to learn it. Just read it. You don't even have to understand what you're reading. Don't understand. Just read it. Tigros. What we say, tigros, it means to read without understanding.
Okay. Good.
You don't understand how many terrorists you're eliminating. The power of the Zohar.
Yeah.
And that woman that said it, she's not a religious woman. She's not a religious woman. Miracle that happen, that people see, it's beyond understanding. If I sit here and tell you stories that I hear about miracle that happen now in this world, it's beyond understanding.
Well, I think you should devote a Sunday one to discuss to relate some of those stories.
You mean to make a summarize of miracle?
Just the stories, some of the stories that you heard. It's very interesting.
Yeah, miracle stories of miracle that happen. Be'ezrat Hashem. Okay, good idea. Why not? Be'ezrat Hashem. Okay.
No, we all need those things which are positive.
You mean Hizuk? Okay,
absolutely.
Be'ezrat Hashem. Okay, shkoah. Rabotai, I've gone over time. It's 9:30. I know that I go. Usually I try to stick it to an hour. Now it's an hour and a half. I hope that you all enjoy the show. Thank you for joining us. And I hope that next time that we put our tefillin, it's going to give us a different meaning
Sure.
What's hiding behind the energy of the Tefilin? In the meantime, I would like to take the opportunity to wish each one of you individually Shavua Tov to all of you. Have a beautiful week ahead. And Akadosh Baruch Hu is with us. Akadosh Baruch Hu always was with us. Akadosh Baruch Hu was with our fathers, our forefathers. He never left us, and he will never leave us. All we have to do, the one step towards him that he'll send us, בעזרת השם, משיח צדקנו במהרה בימינו, אמן כן יהי רצון. Speedily in our day, אמן כן יהי רצון. Wish you all a good night, everyone, and a beautiful week ahead. Thank you for joining us. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Rolf.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.